This week isn't just big, it's game-changing. General Hospital.
The latest preview for General Hospital promises an emotional and suspenseful episode in Port Charles. Relationships are tested, secrets bubble beneath the surface, and a sudden medical emergency leaves everyone shaken. From heartfelt advice at the hospital to a terrifying collapse that leaves someone fighting for help, the upcoming episode is packed with tension and powerful moments. As the citizens of Port Charles navigate love, friendship, and loyalty, several characters find themselves at emotional crossroads. Conversations that begin quietly could change the course of relationships forever, while one frightening health scare threatens to turn an ordinary day into a nightmare. Dante opens up to Elizabeth. At General Hospital, the halls are busy as always, but a quiet conversation between two friends soon becomes deeply personal. Dante Falconeri arrives, looking troubled. Though he tries to maintain his usual calm demeanor, something clearly weighs heavily on his mind. It doesn't take long before he crosses paths with Elizabeth Weber, who immediately senses that something is wrong. Elizabeth has always had a way of reading people. Years of working as a nurse and surviving her own complicated life in Port Charles have given her a deep sense of empathy. When Dante approaches her, she offers a warm smile, but her eyes quickly search his face for clues. "Everything okay?" she asks gently. Dante hesitates before answering. He wasn't planning to unload his problems today, but Elizabeth has always been someone he trusts. After a moment, he exhales and admits that things in his personal life have become complicated. Recently, Dante learned something that has been difficult to accept. His ex is now dating his best friend. For most people, that situation would be awkward enough. But in Port Charles, where emotions run deep and relationships often intertwine, it feels even more complicated. Dante confesses that he's trying to handle the news maturely, but it still stings. Seeing two people he cares about grow closer, while he's left sorting through his own unresolved feelings, has forced him to confront emotions he thought he had already buried. Elizabeth listens carefully, without interrupting. She understands how messy relationships can become, especially when the past refuses to stay in the past. Finally, after Dante finishes explaining the situation, she offers some thoughtful advice. "If any part of you feels like you want to try again," Elizabeth tells him softly, "now is the time." Her words hang in the air for a moment. Dante looks surprised by her suggestion. Trying again would mean risking rejection, or worse, making things even more complicated between everyone involved. But Elizabeth's perspective gives him something to think about. She reminds him that sometimes people walk away from love too quickly, assuming the chapter is closed when it might not be fully finished. Whether Dante decides to follow her advice is another question entirely. But Elizabeth's encouragement plants a seed in his mind, leaving him with a difficult decision: move on completely or fight for what he once had. James puts Nathan on the spot. Elsewhere in Port Charles, a much lighter, but equally revealing, moment unfolds between father and son. Nathan West is spending time with his energetic young son, James West. The two share an easy bond filled with laughter, jokes, and the kind of honest conversations only children can start. Nathan has always done his best to balance his responsibilities as a father with his demanding career. But like many single parents, he sometimes wonders whether he should allow himself to pursue happiness again. James, however, doesn't hesitate to bring up the topic. With the innocent curiosity only a child can have, he suddenly asks his dad a question that catches Nathan completely off guard. "Don't you want a girlfriend or something?" Nathan laughs at first, clearly surprised by the bluntness of the question. Kids have a way of saying exactly what they're thinking, and James is no exception. But beneath the humor lies a deeper truth. Nathan has indeed been considering the possibility of a new relationship. In fact, something may already be developing, something close to home. The complication? The woman he's been growing closer to happens to be his son's mother's best friend. That situation could easily lead to awkward moments, misunderstandings, and hurt feelings if things aren't handled carefully. Still, Nathan can't deny that he feels a genuine connection. Looking at James, Nathan realizes that children often notice more than adults think they do. James watches his father expectantly, waiting for an answer. Nathan smiles and tries to keep things light, but the question lingers in his mind long after the conversation ends. Maybe his son is right. Maybe it's time for him to open his heart again. But if he does, he'll need to be careful about how it affects everyone involved. Sonny gives Rick a serious warning. Meanwhile, the atmosphere shifts to something much more serious at Bobby's. Two brothers sit across from each other at a quiet table. Sonny Corinthos and Rick Lansing have never had a simple relationship. Their shared history is filled with rivalry, resentment, and uneasy alliances. Today's meeting carries a tense undercurrent. Sonny leans forward, his expression serious as he speaks. Whatever he and Rick are planning clearly isn't a small matter. If you want to back out, Sonny says firmly, now's the time to say so. The warning is clear. Once they move forward, there may be no turning back. Rick studies his brother carefully. He knows Sonny well enough to recognize when something is truly dangerous. Sonny doesn't issue warnings lightly, but Rick also has his own reasons for being involved. Whether driven by loyalty, ambition, or something else entirely, he hasn't walked away yet. Still, Sonny's words force him to confront the reality of what they might be stepping into. Port Charles has seen its share of risky plans over the years, and not all of them end well. The tension between the brothers grows as they sit in silence, both aware that their next move could change everything. Will Rick reconsider before it's too late? Or will he follow Sonny into whatever risky scheme lies ahead? A terrifying medical emergency. Just when the episode seems to settle into emotional conversations and personal dilemmas, the preview delivers a shocking twist. In the final moments, chaos erupts. Molly Lansing Davis suddenly collapses. 1 second, everything appears normal. The next, she's on the ground, unconscious and unresponsive. Nearby, Cody Bell reacts instantly. Panic floods his face as he rushes to her side. "Molly, wake up," he pleads desperately. But she doesn't respond. The situation is terrifying. Cody quickly realizes something is seriously wrong, and every second feels like an eternity as he tries to help her. Moments like this remind everyone in Port Charles how fragile life can be. A normal day can transform into a crisis without warning. Cody's fear is obvious as he continues calling Molly's name, hoping for any sign that she's okay. Viewers are left wondering what could have caused such a sudden collapse. Is Molly dealing with an undiscovered medical condition? Could stress or exhaustion have pushed her body to its limits? Or is something far more serious unfolding? Whatever the cause, it's clear that Molly's health scare will send shockwaves through the people who care about her. What happens next? The preview leaves fans with more questions than answers. Dante must decide whether he's willing to fight for a love he thought was lost. Elizabeth's advice may encourage him to take a risk, but the outcome could change several relationships forever. Nathan faces a different kind of dilemma as he considers whether it's time to pursue a new romance. His son's innocent question forces him to reflect on his own happiness and the future he wants to build. Meanwhile, Sonny and Rick stand on the edge of something potentially dangerous. Sonny's warning suggests that whatever they're planning could carry serious consequences. And perhaps most urgent of all is Molly's mysterious collapse. Her sudden medical emergency promises to become the episode's most dramatic moment, leaving viewers anxious to learn whether she'll recover, or if this frightening incident is only the beginning of a much bigger story. Port Charles on edge. Life in Port Charles is never simple. Love triangles, family rivalries, and unexpected tragedies constantly reshape the lives of its residents. This upcoming episode of General Hospital captures all of those elements perfectly. Heartfelt conversations remind us how complicated relationships can be. Lighthearted family moments bring warmth and humor. And just when things seem calm, a shocking crisis threatens to change everything. As fans prepare to watch the March 11th episode, one thing is certain: emotions will run high. Will Dante take Elizabeth's advice and risk reopening his heart? Will Nathan allow himself to pursue love again? Can Sunny and Rick trust each other as they move forward with their mysterious plan? And most importantly, what exactly happened to Molly? The answers are coming soon, and they promise to keep viewers on the edge of their seats as the drama in Port Charles continues to unfold.